27, mix of sun and clouds dropping down to 22 for the day. I'm Dina Carole, joined with Bethany from Frederick County Animal Control in the studio with a furry friend. Who do you have today?
So we brought actually our smallest resident right now.
Okay.
We brought Rhino, and Rhino is an adult Syrian hamster. We are saying adult because she came from an abandoned property, so we don't have a history. We don't know how old she is. We just know that, based on her overall condition, she is an adult. And she's one of the larger hamsters, and she is super entertaining. She has a great personality. She's a hamster that you can interact with. You can hold her. You can play with her. We have a couple of people who routinely get hamsters from us.
Okay.
And they, do fun things like they use paper towel holders and stuff and set up little mazes, and you can really interact with them and have a good time. So it's a great kind of, if you don't have a lot of space, it's a pet that you can still interact with.
Absolutely.
But you want to make sure that you understand, everybody's like, oh, they're great first pets for kids. They do still require a lot of care and maintenance. You want to make sure that you are, making sure that their cages and their housings are the proper ones for them. Like their little feet can get stuck and stuff, so the glass is better.
Gotcha.
So thinking about things like that, making sure that they're getting cleaned regularly, that they're eating the proper foods. They do still require care and maintenance. So you
How
don't
would
want
you clean her?
So not necessarily talking about bathing the animal itself, but making sure that you're, changing the bedding in their housing, in their enclosures, cleaning their water bottles and their food bowls, and making sure that their little huts and all that stuff are staying nice and clean and tidy, because it's important for their health and well-being. There aren't, not every vet will see small animals, but there are several vets in Frederick County that do see small animals like rabbits and guinea pigs and hamsters. So you can still provide them with veterinary care, just as you would with your dogs and cats.
Do they do well with others?
You obviously don't want to mix genders.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you want more hamsters than you want. She is living by herself because that's how she came in. So, anytime you're introducing other animals, you have to do it very slowly. You can't just assume that they're going to be best friends right away.
Sure.
Because they can, fight and do things like that. So, it's always a slow process, housing them separately, but they can see each other.
Right.
Supervised interactions, and then seeing maybe if they can be housed together. But for right now, she's perfectly content being a solo hamster and getting tons of attention.
Is there any danger? This might sound very stereotypical, but like if a cat was in the house, would you have to worry about the cat attacking, or is that just something that we just see in Tom and Jerry?
So obviously, cats are prey animals.
Okay.
Are predatory animals.
Sure.
And you would be concerned.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
you want to
so
make sure,
that's
some cats don't care.
Oh, okay.
But some cats are going to be more interested, so you do want to make sure that you're keeping animals safe. I did an adoption interview with somebody taking home a cat the other day who had some guinea pigs, and I was like, we don't know if this cat has seen them before. You need to make sure that you're keeping them safe.
Sure.
Making sure that the cage is in a situation where the cat can't open it or reach in or anything like that. But then I've seen other adopters who have cats and guinea pigs that they have taken the time to really integrate them, and they have pictures of them together. So it really is just taking things slowly. But I would be a little bit more hesitant with something as small as a hamster.
Okay, so what is the lifespan of a hamster? How long should Rhino be a part of our family?
So hamsters' lifespans are not very long.
Okay.
I think
give it to us straight, Ben.
I think 3 years would be definitely pushing it. That would be like a super senior.
Okay.
But they can be super fun. We had one of our officers actually, his daughter adopted a hamster from us, and they would do all kinds of stuff with it, and she would they would give it goodnight kisses, and it was very social, very integral part of their family. So just because they're small and rodents doesn't mean that they can't be as important to a family as a cat or a dog.
Absolutely.
But you want to make sure that you're always doing the research before you sign up, and that you're taking the precautions and making sure that they're safe. I do want to point out, today we brought Rhino in here in her ball.
Okay.
A lot of people like those. They think they're fun, but they can be super dangerous. We brought Rhino in here because that is hers. It came from the house where she was living. So she's comfortable in that. But if you're thinking about doing that, they should 100% be supervised. They could, fall down the stairs. They could ram themselves really hard into a wall and get seriously injured. So
you'd almost have to put them in like a playpen.
Yeah, there's things that you want to think about.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they sell them in the store, and you think, oh, this is going to be great fun for them, but it can also be potentially very dangerous. So you want to make sure that you're doing all the research and doing things that are safe for your animals.
How can we bring Rhino home?
So they're just like anything else. It's going to be a virtual adoption. So you want to go to our website, and which is frederickcountymd.gov/FCAC, and then go to that Adopt tab, and you're going to find the small animal adoption application. It's going to ask you some questions, just different questions, like do you know what kind of housing and stuff they need? And then we'll do the same approval process, make sure your landlord says you can have it. We've actually had landlords who say you can have a cat and a dog, but you can't have a hamster or a guinea pig. So it happens. So we want to make sure that you're allowed to have those things. And the great thing about adopting small animals from us is that they're typically far less expensive than from the pet store. I think I looked it up, and it's $20, between $15 and $20 to purchase a hamster from PetSmart or Petco. Our adoption fees for our hamsters are just $5.
Nice.
So you get a cheaper rate, but you're also adopting something that's really in need of a loving home.
Excellent. So if you want to bring Rhino home, just go to their website, and you can also see the Facebook Live, Key103radio.com.